The Kogi State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development held swearing-in ceremony of the 5th inaugural ceremony of the Kogi State Children's Parliament. The event was attended by the governor, represented by his deputy SSG, Speaker House of Assembly, and other top government functionaries in the state. The 5th Children Parliament now has the Speaker in person of Amobeda Wisdom from Faith Academy and an indigene of Olamaboro, local government area of East Senatorial District, Kogi State. Our reporter has more.
The governor, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, dissolved the 4th Children Parliament and inaugurated the 5th Parliament. The ceremony was held in Government House, Lokoja.
Sequel to the provision of Article 5, subsection 1, 2, and 3, and Article 9, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Nigeria Children's Parliament, I do hereby wish to proclaim that the 4th Kogi State Children's Parliament stands dissolved and the 5th Kogi State Children's Parliament be formally inaugurated today being the 3rd of February 2022. I so proclaim.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Fatima Kabir Buba, stressed the importance of children in any society, restating the government's determination in the protection of children's rights in the state.
It's been the 5th inauguration of Children's Parliament in Kogi State. It's a great one. I will make sure henceforth the Children's Parliament is going to start working. The children are not going to leave every stone unturned. Why? Because our children-friendly governor will never allow that. So the sky is their limit. This is the starting point, and by the special grace of God, they will kickstart.
She appreciated the governor's support at all times and advised parents to train their wards in the way they should go.
Whatever treatment given to a child, the consequence of your action might not be visible now, but somehow it lingers as it affects that child later in life or as the child grows. As abused, neglected, and maltreated, child will see life from a perspective different from a child who was trained in the right way and shown the better ways to handle life. This does not mean children cannot be stubborn, but there are better ways to train a child instead of inhuman treatment or molestation.
The representatives of the executive, legislative, and judiciary advised the newly elected parliament members on uprightness, both morally and socially.
To deliberate and adopt child-friendly recommendations and forward to relevant authorities for consideration. To receive reports from peers and deliver same to the relevant authorities through the Child Development Department, and lastly, to monitor issues involving child survival, development, protection, and participation.
And so I urge you all to avoid all kinds of sentiments. You know, we are all gathered here from 21 local governments in Kogi State. At times we speak different languages, but we should adopt a legislative languages that will bring unity among us. That is why the sentiment has to be seriously put aside.
Looking at all the happenings in the country today, we all know that our children are endangered with the social media. They are using it negatively. Please, all children, all school children who are here, the social media is a good tool. In as much as is a good tool, it can destroy you, it can mine you. I just want to urge you that whatever you see your colleagues doing that is not right. Do not allow them to go into self-destruction. Speaking out does not mean that you hate them. Speaking out does not mean that you're putting them in trouble. Speaking out is that you are helping them to have a better future.
We pray that you not just bad gang, you be obedient, you be responsible, you obey constituted authority. Because you don't obey constituted authority, there are laws in place to handle those that are disobedient.
The Megiri of Lokoja, represented by the Meyaki of Lokoja, Aliu Lawal Jia, emphasized on the relevance of engaging the young ones. He called on the media to give the Children Parliament adequate publicity on their deliberations and policies.
It is a good opportunity to groom you to learn leadership responsibilities and how to execute them. And so pay attention to whatever assignment you have in the Parliament and do the very best that you could ever do. Ensure there is discipline, there is transparency, and you will succeed. My last appeal is to the news media. Please, you give a lot of attention to the State Assembly. But we want to see what is happening at the Children's Parliament in the comfort of our homes.
The head of service, Anna Odio, and the Director General Public Defender Citizens Rights Commission, Barrister Abdullahi Zakari, in their goodwill messages, motivate the young parliamentarians.
I already know that our amiable governor, a lover of youth, children, women, and so on and so forth. He does not joke with matters like this. Now you know that our leaders that are there today, they don't have two heads. So it's also possible for you if you make the most of this present opportunity and be committed to it, learn all you can. Who knows, tomorrow you may also find yourself in those positions to lead the nation.
No state in this country has this sufficient open space for children to test, to try, to learn leadership than in this state. As we speak, more than 16 states in this country have not yet a children's parliament in their states. This is tremendous. It is also important to know that the state too is ahead of other states. Kogi State is one of the first states of the Committee of States in this country in 2009 that passed the Children's Rights Law. At that time, Kogi was number 12 on the list. And today, I will not stop there. Apart from the provisions of the Child Rights Law that guarantees our children's chance to qualitative and compulsory education, the Ministry of Education in Kogi State is about the only state that has a law that guarantees children their right to education. This is not common anywhere. Kogi State is only one of the 6 states in north-central Nigeria. In Nigeria, they have a body that projects the interests of children, women, and the less privileged. It is also the only state in Nigeria that has an institution that ensures that the Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution, relating the rights of all of us, including children, their fundamental human rights is protected. And I think this is one too many of the demonstration of His Excellency's commitments towards the interests of children. This government is doing well. We continue to pray to government to go harder.
Organizer of the Children Parliament and parents also spoke.
The parliament that has gathered here today is not a program for only the privileged parents. The process is so transparently done. Schools were being given an emergency notice without preparation so that they don't take money children for us. They were giving notice a day to the composition and election of the parliament. What we are looking for is, we don't want children that are being state managed for us, because House of Parliament is a place to argue and to demonstrate vitality, because you are representative of the people. Having done this, children were gathered for the first time without knowing each other. They were asked to talk to themselves, unprepared. And only God knows the magic they do. And within an hour, they got used to each other. And peradventure, we went into a serious aptitude test in order to eliminate those that were given to us and then have others that would constitute the parliament. And after that process, we do election. And peradventure, we have these elected officers.
Okay, my fellow advice to parents would be to encourage them to take up leadership roles at a tender age, because they say once they start at a tender age, it grooms them to becoming better individuals. It grooms them not only becoming better individuals in the society, but also being such individuals that will be able to handle situations when they come their way in the society.
The Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Ayoade, congratulated the newly elected members of Parliament and their parents. She commended the governor for his dedication to children's welfare in the state.
That are involved in cultism, drug addiction, prostitution, and the likes cannot be here representing the children of Kogi State, because you took your time to bring them up in a way that we can identify them and tell them to come and represent the other children in Kogi State. I congratulate you. And I want to say thank you to the governor for believing so much in the children of Kogi State.
The speaker was sworn in by the clerk of the parliamentary, and the speaker later sworn in members.
And that I will devote myself to serve and well-being of the people of the Nigerian nation and to all categories of children. So help me God. And bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The newly elected Speaker, Wisdom Amobedon, commended the process that led to his emergence. He promised to work with respective stakeholders to propagate the child rights law in the state.
Before this noble gathering today, that what transpired at the said venue of the election was my first experience about credible electoral process in Nigeria. The transparency with which it was conducted by facilitating NGO and sincerely on the part of electoral umpire, who gallantly told the part of His Excellency Alhaji Yahaya Adoza Bello, zero tolerance to tribalism, religiosity, and tribal sentiments. I must commend the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, and indeed our state resource person, etc. Prince Sali Musa Yakubu, for the knowledge impacted on us during and after the election wishes, and also to my most loving mother, Miss Margaret Amobeda, and my late father, Mr. Gabriel Amobeda, who nurtured me from birth to adulthood. I wish that my late father is alive today to witness the fruit of his labor. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Furthermore, this address cannot be complete without a special thanks to the Executive Governor of Kogi State for your genuine commitment to the well-being of Kogi women, youth, and children. The fact that the Parliament cannot achieve its major mandate without proper logistics. Hence, I wish to appeal to the state government to, as a matter of importance, aid the Parliament with minibus and a monthly or quarterly subvention to enable it function effectively as one of the most viable parliaments among committees of states in Nigeria.
The governor, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, stated its commitment to protecting children's rights in the state, called on the Children Parliament to execute their duties without fear or favor.
I'd like to encourage you to stay away from the following vices. Number 1, exam malpractices. Number 2, cultism and related activities. Number 4, drug, harmful use of substances. And we want to encourage you to always obey your parents.
Immediately, the Children Parliament held their first proceeding and sitting with motions raised.
And I move the motion for the adoption paper. I so who's against the ayes have it. Honorable Isa Fatima, the floor is yours.
Khadijat Mohammed, reporting for MLC TV.